Yeah, if you do, I think it's very brief, because it's our job, man. We're tasked with what we're given. It's not. There is no time to woe is me or oh, if this would happen, if this would happen. There is no time. You got to move forward, and as a leader, you have to be really short memory and find solutions, not talk about problems. I think that's a big thing. Is how can we be solution oriented at all times, and those things, like you mentioned, injuries and whatnot, those are problems. Those aren't solutions, so focus on the solution.
So you don't have a one-way conversation with your daughter or your dog about the way things are going? That's not part of it?
I don't. No.
Fair enough.
No, they don't quite understand yet.
No, and I think maybe that's the point. Is it's a one-way? All right, then you walk away and say, good talk, pat the dog on the head,
right.
Kiss the dog.
Maybe I should try that. No. I try not to put any of that on them.
You've had lots of different offensive line combinations this season. What's the most challenging part of working with new guys up front, and specifically you had to work with so many centers this year? What's been the biggest challenge?
Just the communication at times. It's just there's something to it when you have a guy for a long time and throughout a season where you're kind of able to unspoken communication that happens, that you're able to get on the same page with each other. So then when there's a new guy, you kind of have to try to speed that process up and or just over communicate verbally and make sure everybody's on the same page.
Obviously, the end of the game was kind of crazy. The two offensive pass interference calls. What were you hearing from the refs? Did you know what they were discussing from your perspective? And had you ever seen anything like that before?
I hadn't been a part of anything like that, no. I know the first one, they just threw the flag. The second one, they were discussing what actually the result of the play was before. I don't know why they had to do that because OPI, the game's over anyways. I think that's where a lot of the confusion came in.
So, here, Lions fans have always felt like they've got the short end of the stick. And you've been here 5 years now. You know the phrase, Detroit versus everybody. Do you feel that you've been here 5 years now? Does this seem like it happens to Detroit more than other teams or not? I mean, Nate Burleson was just on a show yesterday, said that he didn't believe it till he got here, and then the whole Calvin Johnson thing happened when he was here. We know about the Dan Skipper thing. Do you feel that, or is it just this is just football and we're so close to it that we feel like we're getting screwed more than other teams?
Yeah, I do think things like that happen all over the league. It really does. I mean, you think about Thursday night last week, that weird 2-point conversion. That was a weird scenario there, and that just happened a few days ago. So I think we are just so close to it. I refuse to believe that we are at any deficit more than any other team. We dug ourselves in that hole the other day, and shouldn't have to rely on the officials to make things right there at the end. I think the first penalty is the one that bothers me more. The second one is a little bit different.
When you're that close to a conversation at the end of the game and the officials are gathered together, and it's several times that official kind of brushes you away, says get back or get back. At what point does he get forceful enough where you're like, okay, I better walk away?
I don't know if it ever gets physical. They're pretty easy. All I'm looking for is an explanation typically when we're standing there talking, and sometimes they don't have one because they don't know yet. So they're working through that, and usually they give us an explanation. Sometimes they don't, and that's when things get really messy.
DK Metcalf got suspended for 2 games for having a confrontation with a fan. Have you ever had a confrontation with a fan on the road?
No.
And have you found it? Where do you find it to be most hostile to play as a Detroit Lion? Where maybe you see it with, if it's not you, maybe you hear it from the fans and your teammates may say something back, or where does it get that way? I know you're playing in Minnesota this week. I got it right this time. This time you're in Minnesota this week. I don't know if that's a hostile environment necessarily, but where is it the toughest?
Yeah, Minnesota it's very loud. I don't know if their people are necessarily mean to us. It is very loud, and they know how to get into the game, and they make it hard. I don't know. I mean, Seattle's loud. Seattle's fun. Philly's loud. They're kind of mean. I don't know. I really don't listen to much of it, and it kind of goes away if you start taking a lead. But yeah, if you let them win, then yeah, they're gonna talk to you.
Well, speaking of Minnesota, is that Vikings horn annoying or cool from a player perspective?
Yeah, it's a little bit annoying. Yeah,
it means they're doing good, I guess, right?
Yeah, you don't want to hear that horn.
Yeah, no, it means they're doing good. Yeah, you don't want to hear it, but it is fun, dude. I really like playing there, and I think the energy there is fun.
How do you treat the last 2 games of the season? Is it similar to the end of 2022 and preparing for that epic game that you guys had in Green Bay?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, that game we didn't know what the scenario was, similar to how we are now, where there's still things that can happen that can help us, and we can win, and that can help us as well. So yeah, it is similar in some ways, but hopefully it ends with us getting in the playoffs, and we got to win this first one first.
So, from my perspective, just watching you guys every week, not knowing the football expertise you guys do and everything like that, but the last 2 months, it looks different, it feels different, it seems like something's off. Like you guys' usual flow isn't there. Am I crazy? Is something off compared to the last 2 years? Do you feel it too, or is it just an execution thing, or is there something else that you can't put in, you can't, unless you're there, you don't know, you can't put into words maybe?
Yeah, to be specific on the last 2 months, I don't know if I can give you a good answer there. I think the last 2 games I can give you a good answer. We stalled out at certain times. We did move the ball well at certain times, and then throughout the game there was series where we stalled out. I mean, the third quarter, the last 2 games were not good for us, and there's different scenarios where you wish would do things differently, do this differently, but bottom line is we didn't execute in certain scenarios, and moving the football throughout the whole game was not great. It was good at certain points, but it wasn't great the whole game. Now, I rewind 3 weeks ago to Dallas. I thought we did move the ball really well the whole game. So I don't know if I can generalize over 2 months,
You got the guys on the offensive line, golf carts as Christmas presents. What went into that decision, and do you still get the rest of the offense something as well?
Yeah, it's always hard every year. You're trying to get them something new, something that they don't have, and that's always the challenge, honestly. But yeah, I came up with this idea to do the golf carts, and it was awesome. They loved them. You could see the smiles on their faces. It was really cool, and yeah, I do try to take care of a lot of the guys in that room, certainly, and then in my own room and throughout the building.
So I saw the exchange, if you will, on a video and over the practice facility, and the guys were ecstatic about it. What happens afterwards, though? Now they got the golf cart. It's not like they're going to drive them home from Allen Park. I mean, what was the next step? Did they have to rent a bunch of vans or something, or trucks to get them out of there?
No, they're all going to drive them on the freeway home. No, they gotta get them shipped home. Yeah, they'll get them shipped to wherever they need to go and take them from there.
Did you get a chance to watch Phillip Rivers last night? 44 years old, 5 years removed from the league. Is that something that you could possibly see yourself doing down the road? I know it's far down the road, but, I mean, you do have dad strength now. He's got grandpa strength, though, so I wonder if your dad strength has kicked in yet,
Yeah, dad strength, I think, has kicked in for me. He's 44, you said. I'm 31.
Yeah.
So I've played, this will be my 10th year. That'll be another 13 years from now. So I don't know, man. I can't make that call right now, but it's pretty impressive what he's doing, and kind of cool to see it happening.
Do you have a Phillip Rivers story from your playing career?
I don't. I played against him a couple times, but no, we didn't chat much.
Lastly, Jared, how does this trip to Minnesota affect Christmas with the Goffs? Because you guys are playing, obviously, on Christmas Day.
Certainly. Yeah, we don't get to celebrate it the same way. Our daughter is not quite old enough to know either what Christmas is or what day it's on. So we can kind of fib and do it on the 26th is probably what our plan is.
Nice job. Well, best of luck to you on Thursday, and hopefully you guys can take care of business and maybe get some help, and we'll extend this season. But for right now, let's get it done Thursday.
Yep, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Jared. Jared Goff.